All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? This is the All Sports, All Plays Network. This is your boy, Freddie Henderson. I'm up here early in the morning, ready to deliver on some sports. This is ASAP in the morning. Got the wonderful crew with me today. Right next to me, I say this every morning. This guy is better than Alexa. He's better than the Siri. He's better than Google. We call him Stat Guy. Justin, what's going on, my brother?
Oh, not much, Freddie. How are you?
Man, I'm wonderful. Just doing what I love to do. And right next to him, we got the one, the only, making his debut on the morning show. We call him the Big Dog. You can catch him on Bring It on every Monday, bringing the hottest news to the sports world. Yoel, what's going on, my brother?
Good morning, Freddie. Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's not like me to get up this early, but I was just feeling it today. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I got to get it off my chest. So, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we got the dude down there at the bottom. He's the happiest that he's ever been in his life, because this is the only time probably in his lifetime that he can say the Bengals have been relevant in February. They're going to the Super Bowl. They got Joe Burrow leading the way. My brother Clarence, what's going on, bro?
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Oh, he coming here with a professional greeting. Oh, I see how
Definitely.
it is. And then, I don't know if he's rooting for the Dolphins today or what, but his name is Jay McLovin. He got the Dolphins colors on for sure. But what's going on, Jay McLovin?
Man, hey, we're doing good. We're doing good. And Freddie, again, that open invite for the Dallas Cowboys is out there for you, because I know you're still looking for a new team. Because our boy Jerry, your boys out there in New York, they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit on this hiring process. But your boy Jerry Jones done come out and said, we can do better. As owners, we can do better. Jerry is leading from the forefront now. I want you to understand this. We can do better, Freddie. So put some respect on Dallas.
You know what? I will tell you one thing. This morning, I'm coming up here to commend Jerry Jones, because, hey, you're absolutely right. He came out, he spoke on it, and, hey, that right there brings attention to things. When Jerry Jones, probably one of the biggest owners in the NFL when it comes to making changes. When he says stuff like that, that have a big impact on things. But hey, like Jay was getting into, let's go ahead and get into it. Jerry Jones have came out and spoken about the whole Brian Flores situation. And then this is via USA Today. I'm gonna read the quote that he said. He came out and said, "I can see it's an area, one of many, that we can do better. The area has some good attention. This is obvious if you look through the league, and the coaches are trying to improve there," Jones told reporters via USA Today. Me personally, real quick, I love that Jerry Jones came out and said something. I love for the fact that he's standing up for Brian Flores in the situation that these other minority coaches are going through. And hopefully his voice, him coming out speaking on it, hopefully it can cause a change. You can bring a change on how, the NFL, these teams are going through the process of hiring coaches, so that we can see more minorities in the NFL in coaching roles, GM roles, hell, even ownership one day. Dustin, a guy like Jerry Jones, what type of impact him coming out saying this, what type of impact do you think this will have?
I think it's going to have a significant impact, mainly because all of us on this panel can agree that we knew there was like some sort of hiring issue when it comes to African Americans getting hired as head coaches compared to white coaches. And all it took was for somebody to come forth and kind of bring that issue to the forefront, and that's exactly what Brian Flores did. He basically put his coaching career in jeopardy to come out and say everything that he said. Then you look at Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson yesterday comes out and says a lot of the same things that Brian Flores said. All right, Freddie, hold on. I'll see if I can fix my mic. I'll be back out in a second.
All right, hey, Yoel, you pick up from where he was going. Like, what type of impact will it have when Jerry Jones coming out saying what he said?
All right. Well, Jerry Jones has, been one of the most outspoken owners in this league. He's been about rule change. He's been about making this league money. We know, the NFL is all about money, but Jerry Jones is one of the good old boys. If you think about it, if one of the good old boys is coming out and saying we need to make serious change in this league, I think people are really going to follow him. This league is so behind the times. It's ridiculous. 70% of the players in this league are African American. So why don't they have leaders of their own to lead them? You have guys who are underqualified getting jobs for guys who are qualified. You have players, as we have read, I'm sorry, we have coaches that have been basically paraded into offices, interviewed just as a token interview. It's completely wrong. If Jerry Jones is going to speak out, hopefully these other owners will finally listen. And as we're learning, some of these owners are very underhanded and very, backwards. And they're we're learning about the bribes and about payola and money and this and that. And it's time to get with it. It's 2022. It's enough of this stuff, enough of this, old thinking. We live in a world where everybody looks different, but we're all the same. And I'm just tired of it. I'm, even though I'm a white person, I'm Jewish, and Jewish people have been persecuted for years and years and years in this country, in the world. So I do understand to a point what the plight is. But the bottom line is that there has to be equality in a league that makes so much money, in a league that is represented by, who some of the top players are African American. There has to be African American leaders in this league, in the coaching and the GM and the ownership. It has to be there, And for Jerry Jones to come out and say this, well, then, as a Giant fan, it's hard for me to say kudos to Jerry, but I'm going to say it. Kudos to Jerry.
All right, Jay McLovin, hey, this your team, this your owner. Does this make you proud to be a Cowboy fan today? Does this make you feel even more happier?
Well, Freddie, I don't understand why Yo Hyman has a problem talking about Jerry Jones and how spectacular that he is. I don't know what more you want from Jerry Jones to prove just how great he is. I don't know what your problem is, man. My boy's coming out. He's taking a stand. Give the man some respect. Put some love on it.
I respect him. I just don't like his team, but I respect.
Yeah. You don't have to like you don't have to like the team. Damn. I don't like your team either, Yoel, but that's okay. That's for another day. Me and Yoel, we love each other. That's for another day. I'm not going to go. Let me say this, man. Hey, I love it, Freddie. I'm going to tell you why I love it, because that gives me hope. That gives me hope that if Jerry is coming and taking a stand for this, that means he's going to bring Brian Flores in at some point, and we're going to get us a damn quarterback, and we'll get rid of Mike McCarthy at some point. So that gives me hope. I'm just going to say, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, it gives me hope. And it is time, honestly, on a more realistic note, though, it is time that we move on. It is time that we get new business practices. And it's not that we don't have the prettiest practices. We just have to enforce the business practices. And hopefully that's going to happen in the near future with the Brian Flores bringing it to the landscape, Hugh Jackson now bringing his issues to the landscape. So hopefully that will spark, like Yoel said, a new way of thinking.
Dustin, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me better?
Yes, a lot
Much
better.
better. Must have that $2 mic on.
No, I got a new laptop yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out the mic settings on it.
All right,
But yeah, back to what I was saying before. With Brian Flores coming out and saying what he said yesterday, and then having Hugh Jackson basically come out and kind of echo some of the same things that Flores went through in Miami that he went through with Cleveland, you're starting to see the thing that a lot of the African-American coaches have been complaining about for years, where the Rooney Rule is put in place for teams just to interview an African-American candidate. Even if they don't want to hire him for the job, they have to interview him to abide by that rule. And then you kind of get into a situation with Brian Flores, who's accusing Stephen Ross of paying him $100,000 to lose. Hugh Jackson basically said that he was getting paid $100,000 to lose games that first year in Cleveland. That goes to show you that even if you hire an African-American or a minority head coach, that the ownership doesn't believe in him at all. They're setting him up to fail from the day they get there just to prove a point that African-Americans don't belong as a head coach in the NFL. And now that Jerry Jones is kind of coming out and saying that things need to happen differently, I think this is the tipping point of things being completely different in the hiring process. I'm not saying overnight we're going to go from one African-American coach to like 10, but you're going to start to see more minority coaches in the NFL starting next year just because the NFL has now been put on blast and they're going to be in the center of attention until all this gets resolved.
All right, Clarence.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dustin right there. About the minority bridge going to expand though, because it needs to happen and it needs more black coaches. But for what Jerry Jones did the other day was surprising because funny because when he's talking stuff when he's saying stuff he's talking trash probably about the team or anything. Jerry just one of those guys like he liked the cause he liked the cause attention. He want the attention on him, but he still want to settle for what's the right thing. So, I stand with him. There should be more black coaches in the NFL, and hopefully in the future comes. I hope Brian Flores wins his case, and it'd be more black coaches in the NFL though. But I'm standing behind Jerry on this one though. Although he's kind of iffy as an owner though, but for him coming out and saying it should be more minority coaches in the NFL, it's big. It's big though, and that's basically I agree with you too, Jay. It's leading to the discipline that the Cowboys need though. So,
hey, Jetta, I'm gonna get you a jersey, Jetta. If you want to come over from them Bengals, I got a jersey for you too, because Yoel's gonna be coming. I'm gonna get all of y'all some Cowboys jerseys. We're gonna have a transformation on the show.
And trade Burrow for Dak? Oh no.
Well, I will say this, man, and I'm not gonna. I was really excited the other day. I said, you know what? I kind of like the direction the Giants are going in. I like the GM. I like the coach. Hey, I believe that they can turn Daniel Jones into something, and hey, with a healthy, I'm saying all these things. But I just cannot, me as a person, support a team that have those thoughts. The Giants have been an organization since 1925, and they have never had an African American coach. Never. I understand they had they had one black GM that for 12 years. Understand that, but they have never had a coach. Never had a coach on the side, head coach on the sideline leading them, and that's for nights in the 1925 to now. That's just embarrassing. That is just, and we heard John Mara a few years ago when they was, when Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. He came out and said what he said then. It's just, I don't know. It's just heartbreaking, and so that's what caused me to not support that organization anymore. And it's just on top of that, you're already losing. You already don't look good on football. Why bring this certain attention to your football team? You don't need this certain attention.
Absolutely.
John Mara, you hire African American players to play for you. What if a Russell Wilson was willing to come to New York, but he hears this stuff now? What type of impact do you think that's going to have on this franchise?
Two things.
It's going to turn them away. is going to turn them away. And you know what? That's why I removed my fanhood away from that team, and I joined my home team. I'm a fan of them now, going back home, going back to the Rams. Hey, rolling with them because that's my home team. That is
You can say in the Super Bowl.
But let me ask you this. Hey, Freddie, let me ask you this. Let me ask you another. Look at it a different way. How are the players that are currently on the Giants, that are currently on the Broncos, that are currently on the Miami Dolphins, how do you think these players are going to play for these teams, knowing what they know now about them?
It's going to be even harder for the Dolphins is players because they have an owner that said they're going to pay the coach more to lose games on purpose. How can I trust you? How can I trust that organization that you're not even putting us in a position to win games? You want us to lose on purpose. You want it to be set up. So how can I pay for that organization? I believe it's time. If that is true, he needs to be removed as the owner from the Dolphins.
Well, I know the league's definitely gonna investigate Stephen Ross, and now there's probably gonna be an investigation against Jimmy Haslam in Cleveland. I don't know if you guys heard this morning, there was an interview with Hugh Jackson on ESPN Radio this morning. He was talking about the whole thing, and basically it was put in his contract as a bonus incentive. So it was never said to him as lose games, quote unquote. And Hugh Jackson had no idea what it meant. His agent had no idea what it meant. They just went along with it. They're like, all right, it's bonus incentives for player things. But it was never worded that way. And then it came out that way. So, yeah, Freddie's point is definitely valid. Although there is one other side to it, that players are still going to play because players want to get paid. Players want to move on to the next contract. And the players that are still under contract with these teams, not all of them will have an opportunity to get traded or get released or stuff like that. So they're still going to want to play to get those contracts to move on to other teams. So they're not going to not play hard, but they're definitely going to play with a question in mind for sure.
No, my point is on that was not that they're not going to play. They're going to play. But my problem is like they're definitely not going to be re-signing up, though. They're going to be definitely going else. And that's what I'm saying for the Giants. It's going to be very hard for them to start acquiring talent given unless they change ownership or do something crazy. It's going to be very hard for that team to go forward. And, honestly, I don't know I've never met Dable or this GM, but or not so much the GM, but Dable. But it's got to be hard for him too, if you think about it, because now he's caught up in this whole saga, that he probably didn't want to be a part of either.
Oh no, definitely. He's definitely like, well, what have I gotten myself into? But if you looked at him the other day at his press conference, he first needs a good tailor for that suit because that suit looked ridiculous the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was like he took that out of the closet and didn't even iron it, just put it on and got in his truck and came to the press conference. That was embarrassing in itself.
And the thing that you just said, Jay, too, about players that may not want to re-sign with Miami. Miami just went from possibly the best head coach opening to the worst head coach opening overnight. Just because what head coach is going to want to go in and coach for Stephen Ross now, knowing that this is what he did to Brian Flores. So now you had possibly the best opening given how much salary cap space they have to now basically every candidate that they wanted to bring in to interview. I'm not going to be surprised if these candidates pull out because they're not going to want to work with Ross.
Anybody want to answer this? Sanders said, how sad is it that the ones that are accused of doing wrong are blatantly denied everything, making Flores look like a liar?
Well, of course they are. I mean, it's the typical, and there's no other way to put it. It's the typical rich white guy denying stuff. Oh, I didn't do it. How many years we've been seeing, rich white guys. Oh, I didn't do this. I didn't touch that girl. I didn't pay this guy. I didn't do that. It's the typical defense. Of course they're going to come out. Oh, I didn't do anything. But, the NFL has a reputation. The NFL obviously is the most popular sports league in this country. Look at the TV ratings. Look at the amount of attendance. Games are sold out. Look at the prices for the Super Bowl. It's insane. This league makes money. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that the shield and the brand is not tainted no matter what, because they know that there's been small things that have turned it off, but something like this can really turn off fans, and they don't want to lose that money, and that. So these owners are going to deny, and then once the investigations go through, if there's proof, these owners should be out. It's the Stephen Ross thing can almost be, he could lose the team the same way Donald Sterling lost the team, and it's almost along the same lines if you think about it. Ross could be out, Haslam could be out. If the league find these things, I mean, Adam Silver, threw the gauntlet down and told Donald Sterling, no, what you did was wrong. You lost your team. You're done. You're out of this league. And I have a feeling if they find that Ross did this, it's going to be the same thing. He's going to be out.
So my question is, how much blame do we give? I'm glad you brought up Adam Silver, Yoel. How much blame are we going to give Roger Goodell? And like I said yesterday morning, him as under commissioner is always a problem. And when problems come up, he's always late to address it. He's always dragging his feet in the mud. It's never, okay, let's make this decision. We stand on it. We don't care what the outsiders think. We don't care what these, politicians think. It's always lead to those directions that he's trying to please everybody on the outside. He's never addressing it. Do you guys think it's time to change commissioners?
Well, hold on. Hey, what I don't understand, Freddie, is what's worse though, the fact that that these owners or whatever are denying this, or that the NFL came out and said that the claims are without merit. I mean, what's worse? I mean, I think the NFL it's already jacked up from the NFL all the way down to the owners. So it's jacked up from Roger Goodell, and the statement that he released was horrible. And then you look at what the owners are denying it. That's just compounded.
Well,
so, I think it's time for a new commissioner.
With Dustin, you were saying something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think the NFL has to say that these claims are without merit, because they can't just come right out and say, oh, these claims are accurate. Because if they come out and say these claims are accurate, well, then everybody in the NFL is going to be like, why are we getting thrown under the bus and this team's not and this team's not and this team's not?
No, what I'm saying is that whole sentence should have been left off.
I know it should have been left off, but they kind of have
that damn sentence. That's the whole point.
Yeah, well, as we know, Goodell works for the owners essentially. And Goodell has always been more pro-owner than pro-player in his entire regime as commissioner of this league. So what he's doing, once again, is standing up for the owners, standing up for that $20 million salary that he gets every year. Has he been a good commissioner? Yes and no. There's been a lot of drama and a lot of stuff that has gone on during his regime as commissioner. Should he be out? I mean, theoretically, maybe. It's hard to tell. If this thing goes down with no change and no distinct, reversals, and no distinct, change in ownerships, change in coaches and GMs, if it just becomes, if this is the status quo, and once again, is this going to be, the lack of minorities and the lack of this, and these owners are going to get a little slap on the wrist and that's it. Well, then, yeah, there definitely needs to be change. And where his pockets lie, because that's going to be the bottom line. If nothing happens and it gets swept under the rug, then yes, Goodell needs to be out, in my opinion.
All right. Let's move it on. Dustin, can you turn your camera?
No, because I'm using my cell phone right now. That's why.
Okay, because I'm going to put you on the spot. Jim Harbaugh went to go meet with the Vikings. Become their new head coach. Last night, we all got a notification that he informed Michigan State that he intends to come back and be their head coach. Dustin, is it a Jim problem, or is it a Vikings problem?
All I can say is leave it to the Minnesota Vikings to screw this one up. You have a guy who has basically had success everywhere he's gone. You can look at his track record at San Diego University and a 654 winning percentage there. Goes to Stanford, has a 630 winning percentage at Stanford, gets him into the Rose Bowl. Goes to San Francisco, goes 44-19 with the 49ers, gets him in 3 straight NFC championship games with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick as his quarterbacks, gets to the Super Bowl, and leaves back for Michigan, and now he's got like a 670 winning percentage with Michigan. Everywhere he's coached, he's had success, and he's never had a season that he's really done poorly. He's had a 500 season with the 49ers, and he had one really bad season with Michigan last year, but due to COVID, the season's kind of wiped under the rug. The fact that he told Michigan before leaving for Minnesota yesterday that if Minnesota offers him a contract, he's taking the Vikings job. Jim Harbaugh was literally in the middle of your hands, eating out of your hands, where all you had to do was give him a contract, and you had Jim Harbaugh. There wasn't another candidate that you were going to bring in to interview that has a better resume than Harbaugh, that has more experience than Harbaugh, that has proved himself more than Harbaugh, but yet you meet with the guy for 8 hours yesterday, and you do not give him a contract. So what does he do? He tells Michigan he's coming back. Minnesota completely blew this because they had this coach eating out of the palm of their hands, and all they had to do was give him a contract, and he was there. But guess what? You meet with the guy for 8 hours, and you decide not to give him a contract. You kind of just screwed yourself on this one.
All right, James Levin.
Well, this is the same team that hired Zimmer. I'm just saying, hey, their track record is not exactly the best. So, hey, they should have stayed with Leslie Frazier. I mean, I don't know why they went to Zimmer, but at the end of the day, yeah, man. How does Harbaugh go there and not come away with the contract? Because I already said there's only 2 candidates I really think that are out there that are they're probably at the top of the pecking order, and that's Harbaugh and that's Brian Flores. You know, I would put Sean Payton in that group, but he's taking a year off, so he's kind of, not in the realm right now. But so you got Harbaugh and you got Flores. And how do you got, Harbaugh come through your system, like you said, Justin, and not offer him a contract? And that didn't go back to Michigan. I mean, he's going to get more money in Michigan. So I guess for Harbaugh, it's a lot better deal for him. But, man, you let him come in and out. And what are they waiting on? Like, who are they trying to really get? It makes no sense to me.
All right, Clarence, what's your reaction to it?
Can you hear us? Oh,
Look like you have a little technical difficulties. Yoel?
All right. Well, Jim Harbaugh is an interesting character. I said this off air. He's an interesting character. Obviously, he met with them for 8 hours. Something must have happened in the interview for him to walk out of there without a contract. So there's something we don't know. I've been looking, trying to find out if there's anything that's been reported. Nothing's being reported. So something obviously happened in that 8-hour meeting that turned, Minnesota off, or said, what, maybe we need to step away from this, So I haven't seen anything, online. So my reaction is, Harbaugh would have been a better coach than the other candidates that they're looking at, in my opinion. But there's got to be a reason, and that reason will come out eventually somewhere. But I haven't seen a reason yet, so I'm wondering what happened in that meeting.
I kind of know the gist of it if you heard Paul Allen yesterday.
No, what did he say?
So the new GM of Minnesota, that Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, worked with Harbaugh in San Francisco. He's the main reason that Harbaugh interviewed, because Kwesi wanted Harbaugh in Minnesota. The chairman wanted Harbaugh in Minnesota. The owner did not trust Harbaugh because Harbaugh has that reputation to leave after 3 or 4 years. And because the owner didn't have the confidence that Harbaugh could last in Minnesota longer than 4 years, he was not offered the contract.
See, now that's interesting, because look at the average shelf life of an NFL coach is about 3 to 5 years lately. Guys are getting recycled 3 to 5 years. You don't have guys sticking around that much in that many jobs for more than 5 to 7 years. So that's an interesting concept. Very interesting.
All right, Clarence, what's your reaction to Jim Harbaugh's thing in Michigan?
Sorry, fellas, I have a little technical difficulties, man. But I think to be honest though, fellas, I think it was the right move to go back to Michigan. Because I say that because this was their first time since 2003 that they won a Big Ten title, and first time ever they played in the championship. Like, that right there was something big for like the Michigan program. And another thing, they beat Ohio State, so that's showing like you go have a promising future. And I don't know why would you not go with that though, because he built that foundation. He been like the last 6 years they got the eighth best recruiting class. So I think if you're starting to build something in Michigan, keep building on it, because if you just walk away automatically, like, everything is gonna fall apart and they're gonna have to rebuild. They gotta do their whole recruiting. Like, you lose recruiters, they basically like Like they basically transfer. And don't get me wrong, he is one of the winningest coaches like in the NFL. Like everywhere you go, he is a winner though. But I just didn't understand how come he didn't walk out of Minnesota without a contract. I don't even know why he didn't walk out of there. He's a great coach that you would love to be on, and the kids and players, they love playing for him. So it just it kind of get like a little salt in the water, like salt in the drink. Like, wow, why wouldn't you offer that guy? Like,
and what you just said too is the biggest reason why Minnesota needed to give him a contract.
Hey, but let me say this. Do you think the athletic director at Michigan is saying 6-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus, thank God you came back because you making me look better?
Yeah, I mean, like they built something down there.
Yeah,
they built something over there. You know,
they said they were elated. I bet they were elated. I bet they ran to the bathroom and took a long pee.
Yeah, if you look at what Mike Zimmer put his team through the last couple of years that he was there, if you heard the stories of how he treated his players and how he treated his coaches behind the scenes, Harbaugh was exactly the coach he needed to bring in because people love playing for him. Coaches love coaching with him because of the type of person he is. You want that coach that can build that relationship with that team after hearing all the crap Zimmer put that team through, and now you blew it because now you don't know if the head coach is going to have that same credibility and that same relationship building status that Harbaugh had.
Could have rebuilt the culture there.
Yeah, definitely. It's like if everybody wanting you except the owner, like that caused a conflict into like the organization right there. But like they said, I heard the Rams offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, that's his name. I think he's the favorite to win, take over as the head coach. So, and they still ignoring their defense.
All right. So let's go down to Seattle with the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson. You know, we all know they had a disappointing season this year. They did not live up to expectations. They did not go to the playoffs. A lot had to do with that because Russell Wilson did have to miss a lot of time because of the hand injury. There's a lot of rumor speculations that him and Pete Carroll don't see eye to eye. Sierra wants a new change. Russell Wilson wants a new scenery as well. Where can you see Russ playing? What organization do you see him playing for next year? Yoel?
All right, Russell Wilson. Well, let's see. Russell Wilson, I think, is 33 years old, if I'm correct. So he's still, in the prime, has at least 5 prime years left. I would love to see him in New York. I don't think he's coming. So that ball has been dropped and whatever. Honestly, I think he's going to end up staying. And the reason I think he's going to end up staying is because there was an article on Clutch Sports the other day that I read that Tom Brady called Russell Wilson and said, "Hey man, look what I did in New England. I took, you make plenty of money with other endorsements and this like that. If you take a pay cut in your salary, the team will have the money to bring players in and support you." And I think he should do that. As much as Sierra wants to change, and as we all know, Sierra's fine as hell and usually happy wife, happy life. But if Russell wants another ring, I don't really know where else he can go. I mean, he doesn't want to go to the AFC. There's too many young bucks in the AFC, so he's not going there. So I think he's going to stay in Seattle just because I think something's going to work out there. I can't see anybody really having to trade collateral to trade for him right now. So I think he might end up one at least next year in Seattle. Then we'll see what happens.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, a quick public service announcement. The views and thoughts of Yoel Big Dog Hyman on the appearance of Sierra does not necessarily reflect that of the ASAP Network or the other analysts on this show. So when y'all go for lawsuits, please direct it at Yoel Big Dog Hyman. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way.
You're too funny, man. You're funny.
You disagree, Jay? You don't think she's beautiful?
Hey, listen, Russell Wilson. Hey, man, listen. Listen. I got a wife, and I just focus right there, and I don't go left, and I don't go right. As long as she's beautiful to Russell, that's all that matters.
She must be sitting right next to you.
No, man. Well, yeah, but anyway. So. Hey, listen.
I'm married 25 years. I can get away with a statement here or there now. So there you go.
No, hey, but no, for real. Hey, when we talk about Russell Wilson, man, we're talking about a guy who, like you said, Joe, he's 33. He's got maybe 3-4 more years of really good competitive, football, and then we start to, see a little bit of a tapering. So, I mean, yeah, I think he stays in Seattle. I don't think he's going to go. I think he likes being in Seattle. I think him and Pete are going to work that out. But if he was to leave, and if they couldn't work it out, then where do I see him going? I think Pittsburgh, man. I still think Pittsburgh is one of those good destinations because they have a great defense. They got the wide receivers, they got a running back, and they got a good coach. I mean, they got all the intangibles you need to. I mean, honestly, if they could go to this, if they can get to the playoffs with Ben Roethlisberger and that Ellen arm and leg, look, how far else can they really go? Honestly, so I mean, if he wants to be in a win now mode. And they have a lot of youth on that team. I mean, they can be competitive for 2 to 3 years and not have any problems at all. So I think that really is the best destination for him. I mean, you can probably go down to a Miami, but is that where he wants to go? Given the culture of Miami and I think there's too much negativity in Miami. There's too much negative. He ain't going to New York. They're not even without the negativity. New York ain't. They're in rebuild mode. The last thing an aging guy wants to do is go to a rebuild team. So I really think Pittsburgh. Would be, and if they're gonna do a trade, then they could look at possibly Minnesota. But Minnesota, Pittsburgh, really, there are only two. You could probably maybe throw in a Denver if you want to, if he wants to go explore that option. But really, those are the three. And I think out of the three, I still think Pittsburgh is the best destination for him.
To me, I could see him going to Florida, down there in Tampa. Tampa's still loaded. I mean, hey, take Tom Brady off. That team is still loaded with weapons. Godwin's, he's not going to be as expensive due to that injury anymore. You still
they don't have the money, Freddie. Tampa ain't got no money, Bubba. They can't even get all 23 of the free agents they got under contract. How are they going to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson? He got to take a massive pay cut to go there and really take Tom Brady's advice.
You still have Mike Evans down there at the wide receiver. You can still. Hey, I tell you what, man, they get a Russell Wilson, a lot of guys would be willing to take pay cuts. They took pay cuts to pay for Tom Brady. You mean to tell me, hey, we can reload and we can get a Russell Wilson he's not better than Tom Brady, but he's mobile. He can throw the ball just as good. He's accurate. He's not going to turn the ball over. He can help us win. It's the guy that won a Super Bowl before. You mean to tell me you can get a held of him in the NFC? I mean, hey, you never know. Clarence, what's your reaction? Where do you see him going?
See, I got probably a few options though. I think I agree with Yoel. If he takes Brady advice and take pay cuts and they take out like some of his money, that can help build the team up. But it all depends on what Russell Wilson wants to do. Like, I think Pete Carroll's returning back to be a head coach though. I think he's in his last years of coaching, and Russell Wilson, he got to make a hard decision because it's been times like we never seen like a quarterback getting traded like during his prime. And if you're trading for Russell Wilson, like you're taking on his hefty contract, and you looking back at this season, though, he broke his finger, and to be honest, to me, I just didn't think he wasn't the same though. So if I had to choose though, it'd only be like two destinations for me. It's either back home at Seattle, or it can just, or it'll be. I know y'all gonna call me crazy, but I will probably take him over there for the Miami Dolphins though. Like send him over there in the AFC. Trade Tua because Tua's probably not your guy. We don't know at the moment right now, but go down there with a good defense. I think he'd be solid though. But other than that, if Seattle's want to continue to win, I think he should look at the Brady way. Take a pay cut and build his team. Because that's what we'll do. That's what great organizations do. Defense win championship, but offense they put up points.
I'd like to welcome Rob to the show.
What's up, my people?
Nothing much.
What's going on?
But let's get Dustin in on this real quick. We'll be right back to you, Rob. Dustin, where can you see Russell Wilson playing next year?
Up until what happened with Miami the last couple of days, I would have said Miami just because of how much salary cap space they have, and it would be just an easy thing to bring in Russell Wilson, and then you'd still have plenty of money to sign other pieces around him. I think the Raiders is an interesting fit if you wanted to trade Derek Carr for Russell Wilson straight up, just because their contracts are very similar. Derek Carr is a little bit younger than Russell Wilson, so you can kind of build an offense around Derek Carr in Seattle versus Russell Wilson would pretty much have a lot of pieces around him with the Raiders. Denver needs a quarterback. They have plenty of salary cap space. Why not try to get Russell Wilson to Denver? That's a team that has a good defense. They have plenty of offensive weapons, but the only thing they're missing is a legitimate quarterback. Wilson would fill that quarterback spot, plus they would have extra cap space to get some other pieces. But the one team I would keep an eye on, depending on if they can make it work, is New Orleans. Because New Orleans does not have a quarterback right now that they can trust.
They're so far over the cap, though. They're in cap hell. How are they going to afford him?
They're going to cut a lot of people, more likely.
Yeah, why would he go there? Once they cut all them people, who's going to be left if anyone want to play with?
So you have that terrible
place. You have that defense in New Orleans. You're going to keep that defense intact. You can restructure a couple contracts on offense, like Kamara. You can restructure his deal. Michael Thomas, you can restructure his deal. Taysom Hill, you can trade him to somebody and then get that contract off the books. To me, the two best spots for Wilson at this point would be New Orleans, just because they need a quarterback, and like I said, Denver, because Denver's close. The only thing that Denver is missing is a legitimate quarterback, and Wilson would give Denver that legitimate quarterback.
I mean, you're right, because it's not like Pittsburgh has a lot of options over there at quarterback. My bad. I guess they're going to play Haskins or Mason Rudolph, who's still got a concussion from Gilbert slamming him upside the head with his helmet. So I guess Pittsburgh don't need a quarterback. You're right. My bad.
Only way he'll go to Pittsburgh if Steelers get their offensive line together.
They'll be all right. If they can protect Ben's butt, they can surely protect Russell Wilson.
Man, been sacked 400 times, man.
Man, I don't know who's worse, the Seahawks or the Bears offensive line.
All right, Rob, who you rolling with? Where's Russell Wilson going next year?
Oh, man, I came in at the right time. Well, first of all, my good people, everybody good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have to agree with Dustin, our fellow stat guy, our fellow Siri. Denver is a good destination for him. They got a nice young core over there, and you don't trust the current quarterbacks that they have now, especially we know Denver's defense showed a little bit of life last year. So Denver will be a good spot, and I'm going to hit you with this. The newly named Washington Commanders. Now, you look, do you really trust Tyler Heineke as your guy going forward?
Anybody with the name Heineke. Not trust.
I mean, I hear his last name, and all of a sudden I want a beer.
I know, right? Hey.
He ain't going to no Commanders, Scott Rob, man. He ain't going to no Commanders.
Hey, I'm just saying. you gotta remember, you're gonna get that stud back. I can't think of his name right now, but the guy on defense, Young.
Oh, you're talking about Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase Young. So you're gonna get him back, and then not to mention, if they can do that with Heineke, imagine what you can do with Russell Wilson. You're gonna have
really got one legitimate target in McLaurin. You got a halfway decent Logan Thomas and a used up Gibson and your running back. So I mean, what's he really going to work with over there? I don't know. Maybe
he only got one receiver.
And that's why if you're going to go
one wide out,
if you're going to get a quarterback, why not bring in another receiver with him?
Well, Devontae Adams will be in free agency next season, though. So.
That's if they don't tag him, though, to stay with Rodgers. If Rodgers don't leave,
well, you don't know what Rodgers is going to do. That dude is nuclear.
Would it be funny? I still think like Adams would probably still leave though, because if the ongoing conversation with Aaron Rodgers is not going good, like it can maybe be a possibility.
Yeah.
See, that's I think why Russell Wilson to Denver makes the most sense. And I said this since Nathaniel Hackett was hired. That hire in Denver was done for one reason and one reason only. Bringing Hackett to Denver, they're hoping Rodgers and Adams will follow. Because Hackett has no business being a head coach at this point. He's not proven himself. He has not earned a head coach opportunity. The only reason why he's there is Aaron Rodgers endorsed him as a great coach. So Denver brings him there, hoping that getting him there helps open the door to trade for Rodgers and Adams. Let's just say Rodgers stays at the Green Bay and Denver doesn't get him. If Nathaniel Hackett doesn't get Russell Wilson, he's out of a job in 2 years in Denver because that team is not going to win without an elite quarterback. So that's why I think it's either Aaron Rodgers or bust at this point. So that's why Russell Wilson to Denver's got to be Hackett's backup plan. Otherwise, he's going to be out of a job in 2 years.
If he lose Aaron Rodgers, man, he's gonna be like, God, that's the only quarterback I know.
Yeah, but if you're Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, you want to go to the AFC West right now. Think about that division. Think about the quarterbacks in that division. You know, don't slouch on David Carr. David Carr had a hell of a year, and I think McDaniels, being the head coach in Vegas, improves that program. You've got young Justin Herbert in San Diego. They're going to get it together over there. You got Mahomes. So to be the fourth team in that division, that's a tough division. And I don't know if Russell Wilson, you know, that would appeal to him. Yeah, the fit is great, and they've got the tools there. But I do like the Pittsburgh option for him better, for sure.
Well, I mean, he's dealing with it right now.
Of course you do, Yoel. I said it.
He's dealing with it right now in the NFC West. I mean, his division is in slouch as well. So, I mean,
exactly.
He'll be
but if Wilson goes to Denver, is Denver going to be considered the fourth best team anymore? Because Denver has the best defense in that division out of those four teams.
Yes, they do.
And their offense is going to be better when they have a better quarterback. So they will not be the fourth best team in that division anymore if Russell Wilson goes there. I don't think they'll be the best, but they'll be the second best team in that division behind Kansas City if Wilson goes. And all it takes is one game here or there, and they could overtake Kansas City. We saw that this year. If Brandon Staley decides to kick a field goal instead of going for it on fourth down every single time, San Diego's winning the AFC West, or Chargers are winning the AFC West and not Kansas City. So you get a good quarterback in there with Denver, they're not the fourth best team anymore. They're probably the second best team because of that defense.
What about Carolina?
Nobody's going to go there because of Matt Rule. Matt Rule has no idea what he's doing.
Carolina messed up with Sam Darnold.
He still has the job today. It shows you that organization doesn't know what they're doing.
Sam Darnold is trash, man.
Yeah,
I've been saying that since he got drafted.
Man.
There was a glimmer of hope for Darnold, but yeah, he ended up.
He looked good in the first 3 games,
exactly.
But after those 3 games,
the fact that Matt Rule brought back Cam Newton to start Cam Newton shows you he has no idea what he's doing.
Well, there might have been pressure. There might have been some pressure from ownership on that too, because they wanted to, you know, bring Cam back. The guy who brought us to the Super Bowl. The ownership might have pressured him in that too. You never know.
Yeah, you still could have used them. Use them in goal line packages though. Don't start them. Use them in like third and goal line 2 yard line. Use them in that situation.
Cam Newton did say he was back, and that lasted for like 5 seconds.
But Sam Darnold was so trash.
I've been saying he's been trash since he got hurt.
He said, "I'm back and I'm gone" in the same breath.
I'm gone.
Yeah, but we can help Shanahan use Trey Lance this year. Shanahan's had special packages for Trey Lance just to get Trey Lance on the field.
Right.
If you're going to bring back Cam Newton, don't start the guy. Just give him special packages. Use him in goal line situations. Use him in like short yardage situations where you know he's going to convert. He's not the quarterback he used to be 5 years ago. You can't expect him to be that guy.
Definitely
if you're going to keep him, just have special packages designed for him where you can get touchdowns out of him. Don't have him start knowing that you're going to be 14 points behind before you even do anything.
The man.
All right, y'all. Let's keep it moving. Let's move to the NBA. Talking about the Phoenix Suns. They're 41-9. Can anybody beat them at this point? I mean, they seem like one of the best teams in the NBA. Can anybody beat them? Yoel.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, anybody can beat them on any given night. Obviously, 9 teams have beaten them this season. The Phoenix Suns, as we saw last year, you know, have the team to get to the finals. They need to stay healthy. When they got hurt at the end of the year, Chris Paul was hurt. He wasn't, you know, himself come to the finals, whatever. If Phoenix can stay healthy and pace themselves, they can win this year. But honestly, I mean, something's buzzing me about Golden State this year with getting Thompson back. I don't know. I think those guys, you know, are gonna either overtake Phoenix in the 1 spot or sit in the 2, and it's gonna be a Phoenix Golden State Western Conference Finals. And I don't know. I got to lean a little towards Golden State just because something's telling me that those boys are gonna get hot come playoff time. So I say yes, someone can beat Phoenix, and it's Golden State.
All right, McLovin.
Well, they sure as hell didn't do it last year, but okay. You think Klay Thompson's going to – okay. Hey, it is what it is. I see it, man, because Golden State is attractive. It's an attractive-looking franchise, but I think if anybody's going to beat Phoenix, and I'm talking like the big picture, not just like whatever game here or there or whatever, it would be the Milwaukee Bucks, because I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be the team that comes out of the East. Absolutely believe. I don't think anybody's going to stop Milwaukee coming out of the East. Come playoff time, Giannis is going to go into effect. Middleton's going to go into effect. Drew Holiday and all the rest of them are going to go into effect. And nobody's going to be able to contend down low with the Milwaukee Bucks. Nobody in the East sure can. Let's put it that way. And so when they run into Phoenix, when they get DeAndre Ayton back, I think it's going to be tough. I think Phoenix is going to have their match cut out for them again when they go up against Milwaukee come finals time. But I do believe that Phoenix can overcome it. But it's going to take a little bit of work. What, did the bus get here? Is that the bus right over your well? Hey, listen, that might be. Hey, I got to get the number 2 bus. I'll see y'all later. I got to go.
All right, Rob.
Man, Phoenix is tough. I was the one screaming last year when they, we saw what they did in the bubble. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, that was an amazing run. I think they went 8-0 in the bubble to try to get that last spot to be in the play-in tournament. So I knew Phoenix was tough, and adding a Chris Paul to our already tough team made them tougher. So I saw what Phoenix was capable of last year, and this year they've gotten better. You've added more size. That used to be the problem when DeAndre Ayton went to the bench. Who's your big man? And Giannis exposed a lot of that in the finals. So now you bring in a JaVale McGee who has championship experience. You bring in a Bismack Biyombo. We saw what he was able to do in Charlotte. And like Chris Paul said, he said, big fella, all you have to do is set a screen and run to the rim, and I will find you. And, and they are tough. They even have people to back up Chris Paul and Cam Payton now. You have Alfred Payton. Remember what Alfred Payton did for the Orlando Magic when he had the crazy hairstyle? The kid could play. So I think that the Phoenix Suns right now have, put themselves in position to make it back to the finals. But I will say, you can never doubt the heart of a champion, and Golden State can beat the Phoenix Suns. You have to remember, when Draymond gets back, that is the nucleus of their offense because of the screens that he can set for Steph Curry, the way that him and Steph Curry are on the same track when it comes to spacing on the floor. And now you're adding in the Klay Thompson. You have a Jordan Poole who's now confident in himself, a first-time All-Star in Andrew Wiggins. Golden State Warriors are getting back to that 2016, 2015 ball movement. This team looks good, and I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be a clash of the Titans in the Western Conference Finals when it comes to the Warriors and the Suns.
All right, Clarence.
Man, Freddie, I'm going to tell you like this. Them boys on fire right now. Won 11 straight games. They knocking everybody out their way, man. Them boys hot. Book, man, when he just dropped 35 last night, CBD had 14 assists. Like them boys in a good rhythm right now. They feeling themselves. I think they in good mid-season form though. But what I like about this Suns team though is like they're stacked at every position. Like their experience, they got enough scores to like score for them, and they got a good bench. Like I love their bench though, and they got a key players that can they're great two ways. Like they're set. They really is. What I'm really trying to say is basically, man, that this Phoenix Suns team, they can repeat the finals though. They can make a finals run if they stay healthy and they continue winning games though. Now I will be looking out for Golden State because I like what they got right there. When James Wiseman come back, all they need for him to do is just get 10 rebounds for us, man. Rebound for us because we got shooters. All we need to do is rebound, dominate in the paint. If he does that, Golden State can be really dangerous towards going into the playoffs though. But this Phoenix Suns team, they're loaded as well though. JaVale McGee has come big for them for the center. Ayton's been hurt. He's has stepped up. And I love the energy they're playing with. Devin Booker. You could argue that he should be a starter in the All-Star game, though. But you know, Ja Morant and Steph Curry, they having a wild year though. But this Phoenix Suns team, man, they on fire. You know, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They on a 4-game road trip. Their next game against the Hawks, that's beatable. And then they go to the Wizards, and that's beatable. And then they play the Bulls, and then the Sixers. The Sixers and Bucks and Magic. Like, so they got a little schedule ahead of them right now that I think they can manage to win though. So this Suns team is someone to look out for in the West. And like you said, Rob, the West is hot, man. So we might be intrigued for another hot playoffs this year, man.
All right, Dustin.
The Suns are playing extremely well, but for some reason they still remind me of the Suns back when they had Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, and all those guys where they had all the talent in the world but could never finish the job. Yes, they got to the finals last year and lost, but I don't know. I think they can win the West. I don't think they will. I actually do like Golden State. I like Memphis just because of the way Memphis is playing. Memphis is proving that they're going to be a tough matchup for anybody. But even if they win the West, I don't see them winning the NBA title. And Jay, the Milwaukee Bucks are not going back to the finals this year. They have not played at an NBA
That's
finals.
a bus again. That bus must be here to pick up Stat Guy and take it back to reality.
Bucks and 4.
But
Bucks and 4?
Just
Wow, is that what we're saying now?
you have to remember, Jay. Kevin Durant came 1 centimeter away from eliminating the Bucks.
Kevin Durant's on the pine right now being hurt. What are we talking about? And you got Kyrie
Kyrie's a
Irving
part-time
who's going on the
player.
road games. So what are we talking about there? What, James Harden's going to carry the load? He's going to carry it in Houston.
Can I finish?
I'm sorry, my bad. You're talking about PTSD and sports-related stuff, so go ahead. I apologize.
Kevin Durant was 1 centimeter away from eliminating the Bucks on his own last year. Literally. If that foot was behind the line, he eliminates the Bucks on his own last year because Harden was out with a hamstring injury and Irving was out with an ankle injury, and they still win 7 games with the Bucks last year. Durant has more help on Brooklyn this year. Yes, he's injured right now, but he will be back. James Harden is healthy this year and is playing much better. And even if Kyrie Irving is a part-time player, Brooklyn is still going to get him for a minimum of 4 games in the playoffs. Because if he can't play in Brooklyn's probably going to try to get a 5 seed or lower, so they're guaranteed to have Irving for at least 4 of the 7 games.
Well, they in 6 seed right now.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Fred, if I can, let me just – one thing I think we kind of miss it, and it's a good topic about the Phoenix Suns. I like this topic a lot. But one topic I think we're not ever talking about really and put some respect on it is who's going to stop Memphis from their ascension? Honestly.
I was going to tell you who's going to tell you
Second
who's
round
going to stop the
exits.
Suns.
Hey, watch this. Let me tell you something. Memphis has got Orlando, the Clippers, Detroit, Charlotte, New Orleans, Portland, Minnesota, Chicago, San Antonio, Boston, Orlando, and Houston. There's only maybe one team in there that's going to give them an L.
Yeah.
I'm saying right now, hey, y'all got to watch out for Memphis, man. I think that's a team that can win without Ja if they have to. They've done it on 11-2. Watch out for Memphis. I think they're making the
I do like Memphis, but the thing that's going to stop Memphis is themselves because they don't have the playoff experience. That's the only thing to me that's going to stop them come the playoffs is they don't have the playoff experience. They don't have a head coach that has playoff experience. They don't really have anybody on that roster that has playoff experience.
I mean, I was about to say last year's Dustin. Last year, that's some experience that they're gaining.
No. Let him say that because we can also say that Phoenix has not a lot of playoff experience either before they got to the finals last year. What had they really done before that? So that's a really invalid argument. That number 2 bus is coming, so you might want to duck.
No, they had Chris Paul, who's been in the playoffs plenty of times. And the Phoenix Suns still had players on that roster who know how to win in the playoffs. So Phoenix Suns at least had playoff experience on that roster. If you go up and down the Memphis roster, outside of Steven Adams, how many players have played in the playoffs?
But Memphis has a culture. Memphis has a culture of being down and dirty type. I mean, they don't mind getting dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are hard-working guys.
Listen here, everybody. Listen. We talk about experience. And see, this is what I was just waiting for somebody to say.
Oh, Lord Jesus, here it comes.
The purple
Los Angeles Lakers.
Don't count them out. I'm trying to tell you.
Don't count the Lakers out.
Count them out.
Man, this ain't
I
no
didn't
Lakers
count them out.
topic.
Their record is counting them out. Their record is counting them out.
We got to talk about the old heads, the nursing home, the guys that y'all want to call old. They're down there in L.A. It's not about how you start a season. It's all that matters is how you finish a season. All they worried about is getting to the dance. That's all they worried about. Get into the dance, and so
Yeah,
they
you're
can
right.
have
Get
one
into the
last
dance.
dance. And listen, one thing
You
I'm
talking
seeing
about
that
Bronny
nobody want to say
dance?
this now. Anthony,
Hey,
Anthony
listen.
Davis,
You know what? Let me tell you
hold
about
on, Jay.
the
Hold on,
Lakers.
I'm quiet the whole time.
Let me say
I'm
one
quiet
thing.
the whole
I'll be quiet.
time.
I'll be quiet. One thing. Just one thing about the Lakers, since you're talking about the Lakers. You know you're old when on your list of banned substances is Viagra. So I don't want to hear about anything you have to say about the Lakers.
Man, hey.
Listen.
But go ahead. Tell me how the Lakers are going to win the championship when they're 25 and 27. I'll listen to you.
25-27. But listen, nobody's
Oh, but by the way, after Christmas, they're supposed to be on the ascension, according to Freddie. Back in the day. Hey, wait till after Christmas. Wait till after Christmas.
I thought you said you're going to let me talk.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Since Anthony Davis has been back, he's been dominant. He's been dominant. First game back, what he dropped against Joel Embiid? 32 and 12 and 4 blocks.
Did they
what
win?
What did he do last night? 30 and 15 and 4 blocks.
Wait, did they win?
Yes, they win. One.
Oh. I don't watch the Lakers anymore ever since they went down 25-27. But okay, I'll take your word for it.
He's looking a lot better. He's not turning the ball over like he was. Hey, you mean to tell me you have Anthony Davis doing that? You add LeBron doing LeBron James things. We're going to make moves in the trade deadline.
Freddie, y'all can't even be the Kings.
So you're right, Clarence. You're right. We can't. In the regular season, we cannot beat them because the young team is running up and down the court. You're right. But in the postseason, don't the game slow down? Don't it come more of a half-court offense type game in the playoffs? That comes right where the Lakers want them. LeBron is going to make sure his guys are ready. Right now, I love the fact that he's resting. He needs to
by
rest.
the way, you're 5 games away from being in the number 11 spot. 5 games away from being in the 11th spot. Y'all better win. Y'all better win. Are there playoffs? Playoffs?
Hey, Jay.
We're 5 games away from that.
Jay, it's actually 5.5.
Oh, my bad. I don't want Chiz Freddie on that half a game. So 5.5 games.
You're right. You're right. We're 5.5 games away. But what about the 5th seed? We're 4 games away from it. Nobody on here want to say that. Y'all always want to trash the Lakers. It's because, we are the standard of the NBA. We are the standard.
What the hell?
Y'all not on
if you're the standard is dipping.
Mr. Dallas Mavericks fan, please be quiet.
But I will say this about Phoenix. If Phoenix wants to get over that hump, Devin Booker is going to have to become a superstar.
Yeah,
I think he's playing at an all-star level, but he has to make that exception. He likes to compare himself to Kobe. We know about the mentorship that Kobe had on Devin Booker.
Yes.
Devin Booker is going to have to sip a little bit of that secret stuff. And he's going to have to
kind of disappear in the finals, though.
Because I think that this all-star game, these starting rosters, showed us a little bit. Fans are not really appreciating Devin Booker like that. And that's just because they look at him like, he can play, but, what has he really done? You see the amazing years Steph and Ja has had. And Devin Booker feels he should be right up there with Phoenix being number 1. But a lot of people credit that to Chris Paul and not Devin Booker. So he's going to have to step up in a major way, I believe, if he wants people to really consider them being a championship contender.
I just want people to realize that in 2020, when the AD and LeBron played together in the playoffs.
Freddie, you lost to Charlotte, for crying out loud. Not even a couple of nights ago.
I'm talking playoffs, Jay McLevin. If you're not
playoffs,
we don't need to talk.
Playoffs twice, Freddie.
Listen, when them two is healthy, we was undefeated. Nobody beat that team.
Man, he must be drinking the purple Kool-Aid again.
Nobody beat that team. So when them two are healthy in the playoffs, they're unbeatable. So you mean to tell me AD, listen, this big three, they haven't played much together. I'll be surprised they played 15 games together this year as a whole. So these next 30 games will be very important. Us building chemistry, us getting better. And then in the playoffs, Just let us dance. All we ask is, can we make the dance? That's all it's about.
Exactly. You know, Freddie and fellas, I got to go in a minute, but I just want to leave you guys with this. You know, Freddie definitely has a point. You know, the Lakers are going to bring experience to the playoffs, but you know, when it comes down to it, you know, these young boys, in my opinion, are going to be able to run the court. Yeah, the game slows down, but still, in my opinion, all the pressure is going to be on the Lakers, especially if they end up in the 7-10, 8-9 game to get in, to play that one game. All the pressure is going to be on the Lakers. So, you know, as much as LeBron can take over, you know, Westbrook, we all know what Westbrook, you know, if you got to keep Westbrook on the bench, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion, you know. But the bottom line is that, you know, Phoenix, Golden State, and Memphis are definitely the cream of the West right now. John Morant's having a great year, and you know it's gonna be fun to watch the last 30 games. So you know, just strap in because it's gonna be good. It's definitely gonna be good. And with that, fellas, I bid you adieu. Have a great day.
All right, you too, brother. You know, Jay McLovin. Jay used to be a Houston Rockets fan, but
I'm still a Houston Rockets fan. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's rocking for Dallas Mavericks now.
Hey, listen, LA Rams. I don't know what we're talking about here. Hey, listen, you've only been at LA Rams for 2 days now, so you ain't really got a lot of room to talk right now. Okay?
Oh my God,
Mr. Newly acquired Rams. Hell, the ink hasn't even dried on your hat yet.
We going for that bowl, Jay. We going for that Super Bowl. Something the Cowboys can't do.
Hey, I like how he did that because Freddie literally 2 days ago was taking his New York Giants hat to the Goodwill and picking up a Rams hat. So I like how you do that, man. I mean, ask you this: when you go to the apparel company, do you have a trade-in policy? Because I like to trade in my hat for another one. I mean, I'm pretty sure you passed the warranty.
I can't support a team that represents what they represent.
I get it. And I just wish you'd have gone to the San Diego Chargers so I could have some respect on you for trying to go to a team from the ground floor up rather than already at the top floor.
So you don't have respect for me no more?
Freddie, where you located at?
From a sports realm, Freddie, I gotta say you took a hit.
He say he's from LA, but he has a very strong Southern accent.
We need to see that birth certificate because I'm pretty sure he's really from Marshall, Texas.
I was born in California. Hey.
How old were you when you left California, Freddie? Like 2 months?
I thought you were from Texas, bro.
Hey, no, I live in Texas.
No, he's from Texas. He's from Texas. We don't claim.
So you've been rooting for the Cowboys out of Houston, Texas, all this long on the low?
I will never root for the Cowboys. Never. I will stop watching football before I do that, sir.
What? As a Texas guy, you don't like the Cowboys?
I can't stand them.
That's all right. That's why your house gets egged.
I do love the Cowboys. I love the entertainment they bring me to see men like Jay McLovin. When they lose, it makes them just feel some type of way, and I love that.
I guess I would if I had about 4 other teams in my back pocket. You don't know what it's like to ever truly be an actual fan.
You do know, Jay, because you root for the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks.
I don't know about this Dallas Mavericks. I don't know where you're getting the Dallas Mavericks. I got a Grateful Dead shirt on, but I don't know what we're getting the Dallas Mavericks. So I don't understand.
Do I need to find Frankie?
You call Frankie all you want. Frankie confused too. He lives in New York and he goes for the Boston team. When's the last time you seen New York and Boston get along? It's a conundrum all in itself. Go ahead and get him on the phone. Hey, listen, I ain't afraid.
Hey, you see this rumor that Dustin put in the chat?
What's that?
Yeah, that's kind of wild, right?
That's a little scary. It says that there's a rumor that Tennessee has emerged as the landing spot for Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, hey, he could probably do good things out there. I
don't do some great things. What they got? AJ Brown.
They got Julio Jones still. I mean, if you can resurrect his career,
you know what Derrick Henry capable of. I mean,
they got a good defense. You saw what they did against Cincinnati.
If Rodgers was there instead of Tannehill, the Bengals lose.
That's a different team.
They lose.
Frankie's on his way, by the way, to clarify this. Whatever he say, two against one.
I'm not afraid of Frankie.
Okay, not afraid of Frankie. Okay.
My wife, not a Frankie.
All right, y'all. Let's keep it moving. Should Harden want out of Brooklyn?
Yes.
Like yesterday, he should be begging for a trade to Philadelphia.
Yes. If I was Harden right now, I would be pissed. I would be mad. Like, I would be really mad. Like, you guys bought me here. You know, you had me act a fool to get up out of Houston, and then I get here, and we really gonna let a little shot stop us from getting to what we got to get to? Like, you really feel that strongly about not taking a vaccine that, scientifically speaking, ain't nobody had no effects from it. You know, a few people here and there, but as the masses, nobody's had a real big effect from it. Hell, you can still catch COVID. So it's like,
I mean, you can have side effects even from the flu shot, but I mean, it's nothing that's going to kill anybody.
Yeah,
I don't understand that whole shot thing. I still can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I just think I
would be angry.
In Brooklyn. When you were in Brooklyn, though, like you was brought there, you know, play with KD, Kyrie Irving, and win like a 1 or 2 championship. But now it's like a roller coaster in Brooklyn. Like Kyrie's a part-time player, KD's hurt, James Harden playing with little dude from across the street, Uncle Mark. Like, man, like he's playing with anybody out there, and he probably is getting sick and tired of carrying the load because it's not like. It's probably amongst stress on him, and he probably decided to carry the load, man.
And remember, he did this last year. KD was hurt. Yeah. Kyrie was hurt.
But Kyrie wasn't a part-time player, though, you know?
Yeah. And I get Kyrie's stance on, like, he don't want to feel forced, but it is what it is, man. This is the new life we live in.
I just don't know how you convince somebody to leave a situation to come to your situation, and when he gets to your situation, then you bail on him. Like, I don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
See, when the Sixers had the chance to trade for James Harden, you're supposed to trade for him right there because he wouldn't be having these type of problems right here and there, though.
And Moore is his guy because Moore is the one that brought him to Houston in the beginning, so he was already going back to his natural habitat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's still a strong chance that Philly might still try to get him.
Yeah.
I think they have a bargaining chip.
Jay, you have a viewer think you're so pretty. That's why they're here. They think you're pretty. That's why they're here.
Jay's so pretty. That's why I'm here.
No,
hey, listen. Hey,
Jim?
Jim's a good-looking young man, too, man. Jim be over there lifting about 1 million pounds, and that bar can't hold everything he's trying to lift, so I don't know what he's doing over there.
Jim like 21, man.
Yeah, but Jim be lifting like about 5 million pounds. I don't.
Oh, here we go. Oh, what I'll tell you, right?
Oh, whatever.
So you're a low key man.
Listen, not my fault. Frankie really a closet Red Sox fan because if he's a Patriots fan, he's got to be a Red Sox fan, right? The logical thinking of it just makes sense.
Yeah, Jay roots for the Mavericks, especially this year since Houston been down this year, very bad. He got to represent. So.
Hey,
you know why that hurts though? You know why it hurts so much when y'all say that to me about Massey? I don't get why it would hurt you because I mean you're used to being a bandwagon fan. I've never been a bandwagon fan. Hold on now. Now listen, I haven't been with the Rockets, the Astros, and the Cowboys since 1976. Do you know how much crap on all 3 organizations I have taken, and I am still a loyal fan? Do you know how hard that is, Freddie? I've got battle scars from this. You don't know what a battle scar looks like as a fan because you're so new and shiny and pretty, and you like all your little teams to be on the top of everything. I'm sorry. I'm at the ground floor, so I do take it a little personal when I've gone through my pain, the pain of going through all of what I've gone through. I went through cheating with the Astros. You know how hard that was? And I'm still a fan. I'm still there. So, yes, I take it personally.
Dude, hold on.
We've been dealing with that.
Educate somebody.
I know. Hey,
I need to educate
you understand. I got that. I get you.
I need to educate somebody real quick.
Well, you ain't got much education over there, but go ahead.
I will never I will never in my life ever become a Clipper fan. I've been a Laker fan before LeBron even came there. I grew up watching Kobe and Shaq. That's my team. I was watching them when we won 17 games. I was watching them when we won 8 or 9. I know the battlefield when it comes to be a Lakers. So don't ever
Freddie got the reversible Lakers hat. He got the reversibles. So all you got to do is turn it inside out and it goes to the Clippers.
You know what, you Dallas Mavericks fan? I just think
he got the reversible jersey.
Hey, Jay.
LeBron.
Next time when Freddie comes to the game, when the Clippers play the Lakers, he comes into the game a Lakers fan and he leaves out with the Clippers jersey. I don't understand that.
Jay, you don't even believe that.
Oh man.
I only root for one team in football, in basketball, in baseball. I root for the Lakers in basketball. I root for the Dodgers in baseball, and I root for the Rams. All LA teams. All LA teams.
He said in the Rams. I like how you do that in that last.
All LA teams. That's what I do. But my thing on James Harden.
I'm about to come to your house and find out where you live. I'm about to airmail you back to LA.
He should want out. And just for the reason of, he didn't sign up for this. He's the one that sacrificed the most to make this work. He's the one that stopped going out there averaging 30 points a game, giving up these crazy numbers just to make it work. He's the one that said, I'm going to facilitate just to make it work between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And ever since he's been there, it's been a problem with Kyrie Irving. It's always been a problem. So, yes, he should want to get out of there because his mindset is the only way to set my name up into being the third or fourth best shooting guard in the NBA history is I need to win championships. And right now, it seems like this guy's more worried about doing things off the court, not being bought into his team, not being the leader that we thought he was going to be. And he's not invested in this. Kyrie Irving is not invested into the team. Because if he's invested into the team, he will do whatever it takes to help this team win. If it's mean by him getting the shot, hey, go get it. It don't take this long to do any research. This vaccine has been out, how many years now? A year and a half now, something like that. It's been out for a while now.
Almost 2 years now.
So it don't take this long to do a research. And by him playing every other game, they're not building chemistry. It's not helping them win basketball games. So yes, he should want out of Brooklyn.
And go to the Lakers?
No, we don't want no.
I mean, y'all need a point guard. Y'all need 60% of the game.
Yeah.
You do
need a point guard, Freddie.
It's gonna be the same thing. One thing about Russ is, like I say, Russ is dependable.
Harden's dependable? Russ Harden's not dependable.
I'm talking about Kyrie.
You're talking about Kyrie? Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm talking about Russ.
But Harden. But you can trade for Harden too, because Harden can play the point. He can play the point or the two.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about Russ, though. Russ is changing the narrative.
He ain't changing no damn narrative. I don't think Russ is a small narrative.
He's been playing good. He haven't been turning the ball over as much.
As much. Why do you always put the word "as much" in there? Because that signifies that he still turns the ball over quite a bit.
At least two turnovers a game. At least.
You mean 2 turnovers a game is not bad at all. For a point guard, that's not bad at all.
I mean, 5 turnovers. My bad, Freddie.
He hasn't been doing that. He hasn't been doing that lately. He hasn't been doing that as late.
We seen the memes.
Huh? What'd you say?
We seen the memes, man, when he was dragged going to the lane, 2 people open, and his mindset he's scoring.
Listen,
he's not passing.
You know what? All y'all gonna be sad crying when the Lakers win that championship. Y'all all gonna be hurt. All gonna be hurt.
Let's make sure you go live when they do.
If LeBron can pull that off, he in that GOAT conversation. I'll say that.
Jim, we understand.
He is the GOAT right now. What do you mean?
No, that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Don't let that come out your mouth.
How?
He's better. You say LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan?
Better. Yes.
I'm not debating that, man.
All right. I don't want to turn this into a debate show.
Jay, we can't hear you.
Jay, you're on mute.
Public service announcement. The viewpoints of Freddie Henderson do not necessarily represent the viewpoints of the panelists on this show or ASAP Network. And if you're with the AAL, please don't take Freddie Henderson seriously. He's on crack cocaine half the time he's on the show anyway.
Hey, Rick James told us best. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Man. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this.
Fred.
No.
The podcasting world is literally on its heels after that comment. If I could get up and walk away from this, the one thing was when Rayleigh Velez or Pride, when Pride said, "Hey, Kobe Bryant's overrated," and then Johnny Mathis got up and leapt up out of his chair. That's about where we're at right now.
Can somebody tell me how LeBron's not the GOAT? Nobody told him yet.
Tell me how he is the GOAT.
Yeah. Please enlighten us.
How a guy that's taken his team to 10 finals in his career.
How many has he won, Freddie?
How many has he won, Freddie?
That's a team accomplishment.
How many has he won?
Oh, now it's
Freddie?
a team accomplishment.
How many has he won, Freddie?
He's won 4.
And he's been how many?
4 is too shy of
He's
6.
been to 10.
And he's won 4.
And he's done something your guy Michael Jordan couldn't do. Wait.
How many times did LeBron James win back to back to back? How many times? I'm pretty sure Jordan did it twice. How many times your boy do it?
He's about 3-peat. Oh.
That don't mean
nothing. And even if he hasn't been to the finals 10 times, he's been to the finals 6 times in each.
I'm pretty sure if I went to Michael Jordan's house right now,
every time he went to the finals, he won.
I'm going to say one thing.
I'll bet you if I went to Michael Jordan's house and looked at all the hardware that he's gotten over his NBA career, and I went to LeBron James's house, I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan is going to outlast him in the trophy situation.
Can I ask you this? Was LeBron ever the defensive player of the year?
Hold on, Rob. I'm going to bring this up. Nobody ever talk about this when it's talking about LeBron, with Jordan. Because how dare we ever say anything negative about Michael Jeffrey Jordan? How dare we? I should never, ever come out of my mouth. But he did get swept by the Boston Celtics, I do remember.
He did.
I do remember that. Then I did remember him losing a 3-1 lead to the Milwaukee Bucks while he shot 37% in the last game. But that don't count. But then he got swept by the Boston Celtics yet again. Nobody ever mentioned that deal. And he lost to the.
You talking about when he put 63 on Bird?
Not twice, but 3 times. And he did. And then he did lose to a Shaq and Penny. People don't ever bring that up. But we always LeBron James slander.
Are you talking about the first year he came back?
Regular season. And how many times has LeBron had a sub 500 record? I'm pretty sure LeBron and Michael Jordan never had a sub 500 record. Did he ever have a sub 500 record, Freddie? No.
How many times did Jordan win before Scotty came to save him?
Sander, in that same instance, I can say how many times did LeBron win before Wade showed him how to win.
But at least
I can say the same.
At least LeBron got him to the dance. Jordan couldn't get him to the dance without Scotty.
Freddie, do you know why LeBron can never be the GOAT? Because he lost to Dallas in 2011. When he had the finals gift wrap for him.
Wow.
It was gift wrap for the Miami Heat. Everybody, not 1 ring, not 2 rings, not 3 rings. Hey, how about 0 rings until the next year? Because they lost to Dallas after being up 2 games. They had LeBron had, as Skip Bayless would call, the single biggest meltdown from a superstar that you will ever see. That was LeBron. We talking about the same LeBron James that let J.J. Barea and Jason Terry give him the business.
But
gave him
the business. But what did Michael Jordan do?
Drop the mic on Freddie.
What has he done before he got to Chicago?
Drop the mic. No, Freddie, we dropped the mic.
What did Michael Jordan do? We see LeBron take bombs to the finals.
Everybody makes that argument. What did he do until he gets Scotty? They still lost when he had Scotty. Do you not remember? It took for Jordan to lead by example to say, look, we're not going to get past the bad boy Pistons unless we get tougher. He was in the gym in the mornings. He led that team and showed them how to win. Scotty talking about, I got a migraine. I have a migraine. You guys forget about the small details in that they looked up to Jordan. Jordan was so good that after Scottie Pippen got a chance to lead his team, he putting his shoe in the air talking about, Mike, please come back and save me. Y'all better understand who y'all talking about when y'all talking about the GOAT. Put some respect on Mike's name.
You got to put some respect on that.
I'm talking about respect with an ECK. Put some respect on it. Y'all better know who y'all talking about when y'all talking about Michael Jordan. Y'all just, LeBron does this, LeBron does that. Nobody ever denies that LeBron is a great player, but he ain't no shark in the water. Mike was a shark. Mike was a beast among boys. Mike used to come into the arena with a cigar in his mouth and ask, who gonna stick me? And everybody would point at the guy.
It's true. Mike would go out all night and get drunk and still come back in and put a 30-piece on you and get the win.
And then go play golf.
Hey,
Dre, I see you in the comments, Dre. Do you want to come on the show and tell us what your opinion? But listen, it's okay for Michael Jordan not to be the GOAT.
No, Freddie. That's not true. Freddie, every time you speak, it just gets worse.
This is not true.
Hey, watch it. I got you. Hey, Robert, gingerbread. Can we gingerbread this conversation, because right now Freddie's off the rails, which is a whole different show. I think he belongs on Off the Rails and not on ASAP in the morning. Freddie, you want ASAP in the morning? I need you to come back to reality. Gingerbread, Freddie. Gingerbread.
I just don't get it. Like,
Robert, you can't LeBron is better. See, Robert, you're trying to enter into the world of Freddie. You can't do that. You'll drive yourself crazy. Don't do it. Let it go.
You know what? I have this argument so much with people, and I really just look at them, and they really believe in their heart of hearts that LeBron is. I'm like, did you not see The Last Dance? Did you not learn anything from the mentality that you have to be somebody like a Michael Jordan? And not saying that LeBron doesn't have a winning mentality, but I'm talking about a hunter, a predator, that even when he's being hunted, he's still hunting. Like, look at the people he stopped from getting rings. Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. People forget Karl Malone is the second leading scorer all time. He stopped him and Stockton, that connection.
I don't even think, but even more, Robert
had to run to Miami and play with Dwayne Wade and Shaq to get his ring. Shaq didn't get his ring until he played with somebody like Mike and Kobe. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
and I don't even think that LeBron can I don't think even LeBron can psychologically compete with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got in your head. Like, that man would discombobulate you just by the way he talked.
LeBron.
We seen LeBron intimidate people to change the
narrative. No, not the way Mike did it. Mike was like crying.
In the NBA.
LeBron intimidated everybody in the East. He didn't intimidate the West.
Look at Draymond Green. He got Draymond Green suspended. Why? Because of how he mentally affected them.
Oh, by the way, LeBron plays in an age where foul shots, or if you breathe on somebody, LeBron would flop. You think Michael Jordan ever flopped? Michael Jordan never flopped. He never had to flop. He played the game the right way. He played it to the best. He played at a time when you didn't get ticky-tack fouls.
He got beat up.
Could you imagine if
you can't handle the beat of the grown man's game?
Fred, I got nothing but love for you, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this network and to have these conversations. But you was out of your mind, my brother. And I get it. You love LeBron. LeBron is a great player. You can't doubt him. As I could make an argument for LeBron.
LeBron told him who the business was, and Baines bagged down.
Hey, but LeBron also couldn't hold up to his end of the bargain in 2009. You lost to the Orlando Magic.
Hey, but you know, Robert, I did not blame Freddie Henderson. I did not blame Freddie because Freddie Henderson is a 2000 baby. He was born at the millennium. He's a millennium baby.
I'm not a 2000 baby, Jerry. I was not born in the 2000.
He was born in 2000 exactly.
Oh man,
I was not born in 2000.
He said not 2000.
But listen, man, Jordan need to be glad because he's never seen a LeBron in his era. We've never seen nobody that big, that strong, that athletic. And people want
they did. His name was Sean Kemp.
Let's be honest, he's a better teammate as well. He was a better teammate. LeBron's a better teammate as well. He lifted his guys up. He let them know that they can be more than just a player. Michael Jordan want to punch somebody.
No. LeBron has not done
That's
anything.
the problem. LeBron should have punched somebody, like J.R. Smith, for not knowing how much time left on the clock.
Let me ask you this: do you think Russell Westbrook would be pulling the crap he's pulling with the Lakers against Michael Jordan? No, but he gets away with it with LeBron. LeBron is just like He's a pacifist. He just let you do whatever you want. Michael Jordan, Russell Westbrook could not do Russell Westbrook like things around Michael Jordan. It would never happen.
But you know what? You know what? LeBron is going to Russ. Hey, Russ, be you. Hey, lift us up, Russ. Russ, lift us up, Brody.
Well, why does he need to
empower him to be the best version of him that he can be?
Well, it's a terrible version.
No, actually, these last 2 weeks
it's a terrible Freddie. It's a terrible version.
These last 2 weeks of a
good version. It's still the same recycled version from OKC. Maybe LeBron James is a recycler. Maybe he believes in recycling. I don't know. I don't get it.
Hey, we'll be able to have this debate all day.
It's ridiculous.
Let's do the last topic, man, because I'm not gonna get no headache today dealing with you. You Dallas Mavericks fan. Hey,
I love Freddie. You know I love your butt, man. Let's go to the last topic. What we got?
Hey, I don't want you to love my butt. You better love me, not my butt, sir.
Next topic, please.
Gingerbread.
That's the safe word.
That's the safe word. Hey, that's our safe word around here. Hey,
Dustin. Can the Miami Heat win it all? I know we always talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets, the Bulls. We talk about the Phoenix Suns, the Warriors. I talk about the Lakers. But can Miami win it all?
Yes, they can. And the main reason why they can is their head coach. He's proven that he can win in the playoffs. He took Miami to the finals in the bubble when nobody gave Miami a living chance to get where they got when they went into that bubble. And then they went to the finals and lost to the Lakers. He's given the Milwaukee Bucks plenty of fits in the playoffs. He's given the Chicago Bulls plenty of fits during the regular season. He's given a lot of these playoff teams plenty of fits because of the defense they play and just because of the matchups they present with a lot of these teams. In my opinion, he's the most overlooked and underrated coach in the NBA because he doesn't get enough credit, mainly because you had the big three with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh for a good portion of his coaching career. But look what he's done after those guys have left that franchise. He's continued to build a playoff caliber roster every single year. He's continued to put him in the playoffs every single year. And very seldom is he out in that first round. It's usually a second round or a third round exit when he goes. He's one of those coaches that is not talked about enough, and as long as he's on that sideline, Miami has as good of a shot to win the whole thing as anybody in the East.
All right, Rob. Can Miami win it all?
Whew. That's a good question. I don't think they can. I like Miami. Don't get me wrong. I think they have some of the right stuff in order to win the championship. I just don't think that they have enough, if you get what I'm saying. I love Jimmy Butler as a closer, but I don't really think that they have a top-notch scorer that person that you can say, hey, the game is getting stagnant. We're going back and forth. Everybody's getting defensive stops. We need a bucket. I don't think they have that guy. Tyler Hero could be that guy. I think he has a lot of developing to still do, but he's shown some bright spots of being a person that can be a top scorer in this league. I think what's my guy name? Duncan Robinson. I think that he's a little inconsistent from the 3-point line. I mean, when he gets hot, but he's also one of those guys that can get extremely cold. And injuries. It looks like it's hard for the Miami Heat to stay together, to be able to build that chemistry due to injuries. I mean, these guys, every time you look up, Jimmy Butler's hurt. We know about Kyle Lowry's problem in the past. Bam Adebayo's been hurt. The Morris twin has been hurt. Every time you look up, somebody's been hurt on this roster. So, can they stay healthy enough to get to a championship should be the better question. And I don't think they can. As you've seen right now, they've lost their lead as the number one team in the Eastern Conference. The Bulls has retaken their rightful spot as number one. So, no, I don't think the Miami Heat is going to win this year, and they're going to have to add a little something more than the Kyle Lowry in order to change my mind.
Yep. My opinion when it's talking about Miami, man, he's talking about that grit. He talking about that grind with the Grizzlies. And let's not forget, this is who Miami is. They dogs, man. They're tough-minded, and it starts from the top with Pat Riley. We all know what Pat Riley believes in. We know what his mindset is. And then you bring it on to Spoelstra as that coach that has adapted that as well. And then your franchise player in Jimmy Butler is that dog that lead that culture. They can win it. They are tough. And they can win it all.
It's a terrible question, Freddie.
This is a Miami team that stopped the Bucks in the playoffs a few years back. They know what the recipe is when it comes to a Giannis Antetokounmpo.
This is a terrible, terrible question, man, Freddie. Oh, it's a terrible question.
Well,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's terrible. It's just terrible because, well, number one, I mean, even if you look at the roster the way it is, they have a lot of injuries on that damn team to begin with.
Everybody
but take the injuries off the table. I mean, we can even look past the injuries, which there are quite a bit, but we can look past that. They did not get the size. They did not improve in the paint, the defensive mindedness in the paint to be able to contend with a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm not even going to talk about the West. Let's just talk about the East. I'm only concerned about the East because they got to get out of the East before we can talk about the West. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they can get out of the East. I think that Milwaukee is going to railroad this team. Bam Adebayo is not going to be enough at the center position to hold down a guy like Giannis. It's going to be ridiculous. They're going to get crucified. And you'll see. And you'll watch. And then you're going to come back that day you were right.
They stopped Giannis once before, though.
You can't do it over 7 games, Freddie.
They did.
Every dog can get lucky once in a while. Don't mean it's going to happen over a 7-game series.
What they did, Jay? They put up that wall, and Giannis couldn't go past that wall. Then he came. I become a no-show in the playoffs.
Well, you better hope that wall don't have no cracks.
You know what Miami does better than anybody, Jay?
What's that?
Do you know what Miami does better than anybody?
Tell me.
They make other guys beat you. So Miami knows that Giannis is going to dominate in the paint. They're going to let Giannis get 40 to 50 points. They will just take everybody else away, and the rest of the Bucks players haven't shown the consistency to carry that team. They will make Chris Middleton beat.
Everybody says that about the teams in the playoffs, man. I mean, the Bucks, they were doing that. Even when they won the championship last year, they were saying that about the Bucks. And then what happened? What happened with the Bucks? I'm pretty sure they saw a different Bucks team, right?
No, what happened, though? The first 2 rounds of the playoffs, the Bucks were basically carried by Giannis and nobody else, and they almost lost to Brooklyn in the second round. Once they got to the conference finals, Chris Middleton started to step up. Drew Holiday started to step up, and all these secondary.
But you're making my point. That's exactly right.
Saying, against Miami, though, that first round of the playoffs last year, Miami lost in 6 games. But outside of Giannis, nobody on Milwaukee played very well. The only problem was Miami didn't have anybody but Jimmy Butler playing well. They have more talent and more depth than Miami this year. And if they can force somebody else to beat them, they have a great shot to knock off Milwaukee because they're going to let Giannis get hits. They're just going to take everybody else away.
Well, I think when it comes to Milwaukee also they're better defensively now. I mean, we know what Chris Middleton can do, and that's why you bring in a Drew Holiday. So the reason Miami couldn't repeat their performance that they did in the bubble is because, even though Giannis was the only one going off, Drew Holiday wasn't letting their point guard go off for the Miami Heat. And you got to think about Drew Holiday is a top-notch defender. He's one of the better two-way players in the league today. That's the reason they bought him over there. You got to remember when Miami beat Milwaukee, they had Bledsoe back there as the point guard. Drew Holiday is a different animal. And then you add the experience from a Chris Middleton. You're going to get a Brook Lopez back. You see Bobby Portis playing tough. I mean, they have a team that can still contend. And not to mention, Milwaukee's not Miami's only threat. You still got the Bulls. You still got the 76ers. Hell, you might even still put the Hawks in that and say that they have a chance to make a little more magic. So I just think that Miami, injuries aside, I don't think they have enough to get there. Jimmy Butler can be inconsistent when it comes to scoring. Kyle Lowry, he's proved he can win the big one, yet he's the only one on that team that has any real championship experience.
No, sir.
Who
is. Who? You got Jimmy Butler. Let's not act like he didn't do that. What he did in that finals was not spectacular, Rob.
It was spectacular, but did he win?
Yeah, why do people always want to talk about individual performance? Man, did the team win or not? Did they lose?
Yeah, but Kyle, let's not sit up there act like Kyle was in a situation when he had Kawhi Leonard. Does he not being but Jimmy Butler, the best player, he took a team to Miami into the deep run that nobody expected.
Yeah, but they didn't win.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't doubt Jimmy used to play for the Bulls. I got much love for Jimmy Butler.
That's not
showing, I also Rob. Can tell you the truth. The reason we couldn't win with Jimmy Butler is the reason Miami can't win with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler give you a 30-point triple-double and the next night come out and score only 7 points. Let's not act like Jimmy Butler is not an inconsistent scorer.
But I will say one thing about Miami. I will give them one piece of credit. They did bring in, they brought in PJ Tucker from the Bucks, which gives them a little bit of toughness. Because PJ Tucker is a tough-minded junkyard dog type of guy.
The roster they built.
So they did bring in PJ
Lowry,
Tucker.
Dog, Jimmy Butler, dog, Bam, dog. Marquise Morris, dog.
I don't think Bam Adebayo is a dog. I don't think he's all that much of a dog. I really don't.
Yeah, you crazy, bro.
No, I really don't. I really honestly don't.
I
think Butler can be beating the paint. I mean, Bam Adebayo can be beating the paint.
Yeah, he's undersized.
If he's going against Anthony Davis, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Anthony Davis is one knee hip away from being on the sideline again.
Hey,
so
Anthony Davis.
I can't even breathe about Anthony Davis.
But guess what? He's dominating right now.
Well, yeah, right now. But how long does right now last?
Hey,
2-3 games?
Rob, you want? Hey, when we get we playing the Clippers tonight. Want to guess AD stat line for me tonight? What are he gonna do tonight?
Against the Clippers?
Yes, the Clippers.
I say AD can give you 32, 12, and 2. He give you 2 blocks.
I got something better than that. We about to see vintage AD. New Orleans AD. He going for 50, 16, and 2.
Okay. And that's why but I bet you one thing. I'll give you one stat you ain't talking about. I bet you Clippers get the win.
Nah, the Clippers ain't winning.
Hey, I bet you Clippers get the win.
No.
Hey, watch this. Hey, watch it. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna go. Hey, it's gonna be like, hey, Paul. Yeah, what's up, Kawhi? Hey, man, you see what they did tonight, man? Yeah, man, he got us a 50-piece. Hey, but did he get that win? Because he over there in the corner crying. Oh, no, he didn't get the win. We got the win. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Well, hey, man, we going out to the bar for some drinks? Yeah, we going to go out to the bar for some drinks.
They not playing, Jay.
AD gonna have to show me something because I honestly don't think he can get back to New Orleans, AD. I think he is past that prime.
I do too. I honestly
no, bro.
He's past that prime.
No, he has had major injuries every year. Every year.
Time out. I'm tired of the slander, bro. I really am.
It's not slander.
He is from Chicago.
The guy is injury
I just call it like I see it. I call it like I see it.
If he was the number one option, he would still be doing it. He's not the number one option anymore.
They want him to be the number one option.
No, they don't. That's what the media want him to be.
No,
that's what the media
you think LeBron want to have to do what he's doing at his age?
Yes, LeBron's trying to become the number one all-time scorer. Yes, LeBron want to do what he's doing. Yes.
No, LeBron. The reason that LeBron is trying to make that happen, he's trying to become more of a stretch shooter, but he needs AD to bang down low.
Obviously, we did beat the Miami Heat earlier this year. I recall them being a good team, and we did.
You talking about the Lakers?
Yeah.
Hey, let's not try to find a needle in the haystack on all the good teams that they've beaten this year. Okay.
I mean, he wanted.
That is a needle in a haystack. That's a small needle in a haystack, but it's a needle.
Let's not do that, okay? The Lakers have been inconsistent this year. They have a losing record.
The Utah Jazz. So don't say we haven't beat nobody.
Everybody's beating the Utah.
You're talking about the number 4 Utah Jazz.
Everybody has beaten the Utah Jazz. That's nothing to scream about.
Jesus. Boy, Freddie going for pay dirt when he starts talking about the Jazz.
I'm gonna tell you one thing: we're gonna definitely beat your team in the Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I don't know about Dallas Mavericks.
I've been on here, and you can go back and say I even say you can't doubt LeBron James. I'm not ready to fully count the Lakers out as of yet, but I'm just also let's not be delusional here.
Are you gonna be delusional now?
Yes, because you think that the Lakers are good right now. And they're not.
I didn't say right now. We don't have to be good right now. That's the problem with the Phoenix Suns.
In order to make
you know
it to
the problem with
playoffs?
the Phoenix Suns? You know what's gonna hold them back? They doing the same thing the Warriors did a few years ago. Oh, they win this mini game. They were 73 in this, that. They gonna be tired. And guess who's gonna be rejuvenized? Who gonna have a lot more energy? It's gonna be them old heads because we didn't chase this unbelievable record this year. We was coasting all through the year, floating between 500, being mediocre. But guess what? We got hot at the right time. And
is that before or after they drink their Ensure?
And Showtime's gonna be back in LA.
Hey, is that after they drink the Ensure and the Metamucil?
It ate their prunes.
But we eating our prunes now. And guess who's coming alive right now? Carmelo Anthony, looking like Carmelo of old. You seen him last night.
We saw this Carmelo.
He played the Portland Trailblazers. Oh my Lord! He played the Trailblazers.
Yeah, man.
You're talking about the Portland rebuild Trailblazers.
And
what are we talking about?
them without our best player too.
Hey, Freddie, I loved how you changed the narrative, saying that you guys are coasting through the regular season.
We are.
People are sitting out because they're hurt, not because you're
Russell Westbrook the other day. Russell Westbrook says it don't matter about our record.
Hey, listen, Freddie. I need one more prediction. No, Freddie, I need one more prediction from you because earlier you had predicted that the Lakers are going to find the momentum, and after the Christmas break, you're going to see a different Lakers team. When exactly now that we've passed Christmas, we're almost at Valentine's Day, when can I expect to see this quote-unquote momentum shift?
Right after All-Star break. We about to go on.
Now it's after All-Star break.
Okay. No. I'm putting it on my calendar. No, it's on my calendar, Freddie. It's on the calendar. And so when after All-Star break, if there's still a sub-500 team, I'm going to come back to you again, and I want you to tell me when your next prediction will be.
Jay.
So I'm assuming playoff mode activated now, right?
LeBron's about to go in that dark mode. He's about to turn that phone off. You know how he get when he turn the phone off and he just go on a different mode, a mode that nobody want to see, a mode that's even darker than yours, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's about to go on a run. This team is about to dominate the NBA.
Hey, I tell you this: while you bring it up
injuries, y'all dominating injuries.
You bring it up, Michael Jordan's name. Michael Jordan never had to undignify himself to get on national media to say playoff mode activated. We knew as fans that playoff mode was activated.
Guess what? Michael Jeffrey Jordan didn't grow up in an era where social media was as big as it is, as the media as big as it is now. He didn't grow up.
I'll say this. I will say this. I do think that LeBron James is a very good entertainer.
Yes, he is.
He's a good entertainer, man. The guy is great, man. He's got a great act. But the problem, and we saw that in the decision, right? You know, because he had to elevate his something, so he came up with this whole creative idea of the decision. So I give him great kudos on being an entertainer. He's just not that good compared to Jordan. Jordan is just that much better.
Who's your best Dallas Maverick player of all time?
I don't have a Dallas Maverick player of all time because I'm not a Dallas Maverick fan.
Were you a Dirk Nowitzki guy? You think Lucas?
You can't put your bandwagon ways on me, sir. I see through your Jedi
you
ways.
Wearing the blue today for him.
But my favorite Houston Rocket is Akeem Olajuwon.
I've never seen you with a Houston Rocket jersey or shirt or anything. It's always Dallas color.
No, it ain't. I very rarely ever wear this shirt on here. Maybe once or twice. That's it.
Randy, I know, but I was trying to see what is Jay McLovin's favorite Dallas Maverick player.
Hey, Charles Oakley came out and said that he feels that LeBron James is going to run to another team to chase another ring. That's your guy. That's the guy you call the man.
Listen, Charles Oakley can talk all he want to talk. He just heard.
Well, let's be honest. 3 to 4 years is about LeBron James' average on a team. 3 to 4 years. We are in that realm, so don't be surprised.
Where LeBron knows he's in the later stage of his career.
Just tell me one thing, Freddie. When Bron leaves you like a cheap little redheaded stepchild that you are, and he goes to another team, do you need me to send you that jersey of that team? Because I will.
No,
I'll send you a jersey.
Guess what? One
I
thing
give you your size, Freddie. Just give me your size, and I'll make sure you have your jersey. Okay?
Can I answer the question?
Yeah,
one thing I know about rooting for the purple and gold, the Lakers, it don't matter who it is. We always reload. We always load back up. We don't stay down forever. We not like these other franchises that go on a 60 to 70 year drought. We stay down for a couple of years and then we revamp. We come back up. You see where we at. We was down. We had the young talent. We had Ingram. We had Lonzo. But what we do, we had to rebuild. We brought in Bron. We brought in AD. This is what we do.
So you let go of really good role players and you brought in Russell Westbrook. That's what you do.
Bring in superstars.
That's what you do.
And we won a championship too.
With Russell Westbrook? I don't think so.
I said with LeBron and Anthony.
No. You missed what I said to you. You let go of the guys that got you the championship, and you brought in Russell Westbrook.
Yes, and Russell's going to help.
How's that working out for you?
In the NBA.
No. Answer the question. How exactly is that working out for you?
Beautiful.
Is it working out like you thought it was?
Its help is working beautiful because the season.
Because let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure they are who me and Robert thought they were. Imposters.
They're imposters. It's not about the regular season.
Watch this. Hey, Freddie, remember the other day?
Season. It's all about the playoffs.
Now watch this, Freddie. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you a metaphor, Freddie. I'm gonna give you a metaphor so you can help understand. No, wait. Watch this. Here it comes, Freddie. Hold on. Here it comes. If you had a real Louis Vuitton, that's Michael Jordan. If you had that Korean knockoff that you find at the flea market, that's LeBron James.
LeBron James.
I'm going to the flea market all day long.
It's a LeBron James knockoff.
He's going to make teammates better.
Oh, you made Freddie come out the glasses, boy. You making him mad.
Hey, he's a cheap lip suit. He's a knockoff. He's a knockoff of LeBron.
Randy, you know what? I want to talk to Randy in the comments. My goal is, and I really hope this happens, is that we got to play Memphis in the playoffs because I'm ready for the grit and the grind. I'm ready to show y'all young cats what the real deal is. That this ain't nothing. Hey,
I just hope when they try to guard John Morant, they don't break a hip when he goes by him with that 360 dunk.
I just want Memphis to know.
Whoa, young buck. I can't turn like that. I don't turn like that anymore. I need you to slow your little crazy butt down for me.
To know you can play with grown folks. You stay in a child's place, and Memphis need to get back in their place.
Hey, Freddie, is it true what I heard though? I heard that in the water bottles for the Lakers, they got milk in there instead of water. Is that for them weak bones that they got?
Listen here, man. This is another episode of ASAP in the Morning. Want to thank my dude Clarence, Yoel, Dustin, Rob. Our one and only Dallas Maverick fan and Jay McLovin for coming on today. You want to thank you guys for coming to deliver another awesome show. This is what we do. We'll be back.
Hold on, let me get a little cheap plug in. New episode of Rob's 2 Cents is available today. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, the Rewind 60 Sports Roku channel or app. So catch your boy. We had some fun yesterday on live, Freddie. I appreciate you and Dustin jumping on, supporting your boy, man. I had some fun. So make sure y'all check out that new episode, man.
Hey, if you want to upgrade, I'll come on your show. If you want to upgrade from Freddie over there to me, man, listen, I work real cheap. I'm not that expensive.
Hey, and if you want,
hey, Freddie's my knockoff, so you get the knockoff. If you want the real deal, man, if you want the Louis Vuitton, I'll come on.
Hey,
I keep that in mind, Jay.
And if you want to upgrade, and if you want to catch Jay McLovin on his podcast, he do wonderful work as well. Like, all seriousness, do wonderful work. One of the most talented guys I know. He covers all Dallas Mavericks. All Dallas Mavericks podcast with Jay McLovin.
Oh, God.
Just play unscripted, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Tune in with him as well. Today's Friday. So today we will see a recap with our dude Dustin and Mon today. Can't wait for that.
Today's Thursday. Today's Thursday.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I get like that all the time, man. Busy. Hey,
no. You know what it was? I just got Freddie so discombobulated that he wanted to skip past today and go straight to tomorrow.
My bad. We'll see Dustin tomorrow on ASAP recap to recap all the things in sports. Definitely want to tune into that. Dustin, thank you for coming on. Robert, Jay, Dustin, do you have a fun fact for the people real quick?
Yeah, and it's going to crush Jay's heart because I just found it yesterday. But Mr. Ice Cold Joe Burrow has more playoff wins this year than the Dallas Cowboys have in 27 years.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's about right. Like I said, Freddie, this is what a real fan looks like. No, Freddie, to his point, he thought he was going to crush my heart. But you know what? I'm a real fan. I've got thicker skin than that, Freddie. Unlike you, who has basically never had to work a day in his life for a real team. This is what it looks like, Fred, right here.
Hey, Dustin, I got you, bro. We always talk about Matthew Stafford not achieving, going to the big game, doing this, doing that. But guess what? He got more wins than your Cowboys now.
Hey, Freddie, you still got the plastic on your hat. I don't know what you're talking about over there.
And we about to win a Super Bowl. But until tomorrow, you guys have a good rest of your day. Super Bowl on our way.
We go.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the